All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm so excited for this deep dive because we're tackling something I think a lot of us struggle with.
Oh, yeah.
Loneliness.
Hmm.
We're looking at this excerpt from an article called Loneliness versus Being Alone.
Oh,
And the goal here is to really understand the difference between simply being alone and feeling lonely.
yeah.
Because it's so interesting how even in today's world where we're like constantly connected online,
Mm,
right?
right.
True connection can feel so elusive.
It really can.
So, like, how does that happen?
Well, I think it all starts with recognizing that loneliness, it's really about this lack of meaningful connection.
Uh-huh.
It's not just about physically being by yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can be surrounded by people and still feel completely unseen,
Totally. Like being at a party and just feeling invisible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not about the number of people that are around you. It's
Yeah.
about the quality of the connections that you have.
And the article actually points out that feeling empty or struggling to connect, those are like the classic signs of loneliness.
They are.
Even sometimes using distractions to like numb that feeling out.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt that way?
I think we all have at some point.
Yeah.
Life is full of ups and downs and relationships ebb and flow. And yeah, I think everybody has those moments where they just feel a little bit lost and disconnected.
Totally.
Yeah.
But here's where I think it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because the article goes on to talk about this whole other side of things.
Right.
The power of being alone,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally different from loneliness.
Completely different.
Like, think about those people who actually seek out solitude.
Yeah.
Like solo travelers or artists who like go off and find inspiration in these quiet spaces.
Absolutely.
It's not that they lack connections.
No.
It's that they're choosing this time for themselves.
They're being intentional about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key difference.
That makes me think about writers who like lock themselves away to finish a book.
Exactly.
It's not loneliness driving them. It's that they need that focus.
They need that space to create.
And the article mentions how this kind of solitude can actually be linked to creativity and self-reflection.
Yeah.
There's even research showing that it can boost problem-solving skills.
Makes sense, right? When you step away from all the distractions and the noise, you can really focus on what matters.
So it's not about becoming like a total hermit.
Right.
It's about recognizing that alone time can be incredibly valuable.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, you got to know how to use it right.
So how do we tell the difference then
Okay.
between this healthy solitude
Yeah.
and like actual loneliness creeping in?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, it really boils down to how it feels. If you're alone and you're feeling content,
Yeah.
energized, even inspired, like you said with those writers, that's a good sign.
Right.
That means you're using that alone time productively.
But if being alone is bringing you down,
Yeah.
making you feel empty or disconnected, that might be loneliness signaling that you need a deeper connection with someone.
It could be.
So it's like a gut check almost.
Yeah.
Like, are you running from something
Right.
or towards something in your alone time?
I like that. That's a really good way to put it.
I think this is so insightful because it flips the script on how we view being alone.
It does. It challenges us to reframe it.
Instead of something to be feared, it can be like an opportunity.
Absolutely.
What can you learn about yourself in that space? What could you create? Or simply, what can you enjoy without needing anyone else's input?
That's a great question to ask yourself the next time you find yourself alone.
Right. Instead of dreading it, maybe see it as an opportunity.
I love that.
This is so powerful.
It is. It's about taking ownership of your time and your experience.
Well, thank you so much for diving into this with us today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
This has been such a great conversation.
I agree.
And hopefully this gives everyone listening a fresh perspective on how to approach those moments when you're on your own.
Absolutely. And remember, it's okay to be alone. It's not a bad thing.
It can be a really good thing.
Exactly. So embrace it.
Thanks again for joining us,
Thank you.
and we'll see you next time.
See you then.